Friends, welcome back to the channel. It has been 1 year since April and I moved to Albania. We came here the 22nd of April to be exact, and we're going to be going over a lot of things. If you're new to the channel, thank you. I appreciate you. If you're old to the channel, if you've been here since the beginning, many of you have, I'm greatly appreciated. Okay, we're going to go over stuff that we did in order to get here. Now, another thing I want to tell you about, if you're new to the channel, I have a playlist, okay, that I did from the States. It was leading up to me coming here. Things I took care of. eSIM card versus SIMs, banking, your snail mail, what do you do with it? So I made a playlist of things that I accomplished before I came here that really worked out well for me. So if you're looking for information like that, please check out my playlist. I hope it helps you out. So we're going to be going over a lot of things like what my channel is really about. It's not necessarily about Albania. It's Albania for me. What I'm trying to tell you, for baby boomers, most of you that are watching are baby boomers. And I get it, man. The States, the inflation rate is through the roof, and many people don't think they're ever going to be able to retire. And I get that. I really do. Because it was the generation before us and the generation before that, you work for a company for 20, 30 years, you get your pension and you retire. That's just how it was. Unfortunately, companies kept dropping pensions, and so you don't have that with the company no more. And then they came up with the 401k, which at first just seemed like a great idea. The company's going to match whatever money you put into it. Great. And then they started whittling it down. Okay, the company will match 6%. After that, it's all you. And then they started saying, okay, we're going to match 0.5% up to 6% or 7%, whichever, but they keep bringing it down. So it gets harder and harder for you and I to save for retirement. So this channel is really all about options. Okay, study the world. Okay, whether it's South America, whether it's East Asia, if you're looking at the Philippines or Malaysia, or Eastern Europe, Albania for me, study the planet. There are options out there where you can retire. But I refuse to be the type of channel, and I'm just as guilty, where I've watched it when I say I'm just as guilty. Retire here for $500 a month and live like a king. I'm not going to do that to you because it's baloney. Last month or the month before, I was doing a budget, and because I bought this place, I got no rent. We're going to go over that. But I came out, my budget was like $700 that I spent or the month before, and not counting medical insurance. My medical insurance is $300 through Cigna with a C. That's for wife and I combined, $300. A lot of expats don't carry insurance, or they just pay out of pocket. That's always scared me. I've always had a union job where I had good medical benefits, so I'm always used to that. And I'm just so afraid that the day I don't have medical benefits, that's the day I have a heart attack. I've always been paranoid about that, so I always carry that with me. But a friend of mine, and I spoke about this before, but if you're new to the channel, here in Albania, had a serious back injury, okay? So he had no medical insurance. So this is what happened. He had to have a neurosurgeon, okay? So he got the surgery on his back, spent 4 days in the hospital. Can you imagine the price of staying one night in the hospital in the U.S.? But he stayed 4 days in the hospital. So he had surgery, 4 days in the hospital, and his post-care, physical therapy and such, is out of pocket with no insurance here, $3,600. Okay, so yeah, once I'm paying $300 a month for a year, I'm pretty much paying what he paid for his surgery. I've just always been paranoid, so for now, yeah, I'm going to carry health insurance. So altogether, it was like $1,000, to live here. But I wasn't traveling. Okay, for a couple, I would really say if you can earn $2,000 a month, you can live really well, which includes date night. You can go out to eat every night. We were out to eat every night in Tirana during the summer because it was so hot. We didn't want to heat up the house with the stove. You could still get good meals. Like last summer, we were getting meals for $8 a piece. Okay, $10 a piece. You can even go less. Like people say, well, eat burek. Yeah, you can do that for like $1 or $2 for breakfast. But I wouldn't eat burek every day. There's a lot of dough. It's fried dough for the most part. So there are different ways you can save money. When you go out to a restaurant, there's be expensive things on the menu, and there'll be not so expensive on the menu. But what I've always done too, make sure it's got the price listed for whatever you have. Okay, so you can, like here in PokerDesk, I can take April to a very nice restaurant right on the beach. You know what that would cost in the States? And have a meal for $8 to $10. You know, I've been spoiled. April's having sticker shock. She's in America right now, and just going out to eat, just with my daughter, her, and my granddaughter. She dropped $88, and not a fancy restaurant. You know, just I'm not telling you anything you don't know. But let's talk about some things. Okay, what we did to get over here is really, that's probably the most expensive part to get here from the States. And I was looking at airline tickets and economy. You know, you're going to be in a little can all jacked up, and you know, I've done it before. Oh, don't want to do it again. So I was looking at different ways. I was looking at business class, but those seats can be thousands of dollars. And I was like, there's got to be an option. So what I discovered was repositioning cruises. I'm asking you to look for those, okay? What happens is twice a year, each company will move their fleet. When I say company, Carnival Cruises, Norwegian, and so forth. And they're going to move their fleet to a different part of the world because they're chasing the weather, okay? So, in other words, a lot of cruises, basically in a circle. You know, eventually you're going to come back to where you started, whatever port it was, and you're off. A repositioning cruise is a one-way trip. So that's what we did. I'm trying to remember, it was like $1,300 or $1,600 per person, $100 per person. I used my Discover points. We were able at least to pay off one of us, so it was like $1,300 or $1,600 to take us both across the ocean. A 12-day cruise. What we did, we rented a car, drove to Cape Canaveral, and that's where it sailed out of. We went to Spain, then a little city right outside of Rome. Then we stayed in Rome for 3 days and flew from Rome to Toronto. That flight was like an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes. The good news that I want you to look up, start looking at travel points once you're in Toronto. Say, where are you departing from? TIA is the airport code, TIA for Toronto Airport, and go Toronto to Poland, Toronto to Rome, Toronto to Barcelona, and see how cheap it is once you get here to travel to other countries. It's really good. So we did the repositioning cruise. It was wonderful, 12 days going across, food included. They even gave us a drink package. You can have as much as you want to drink. Okay, that was a little scary. Okay. In our first year, we're home basers. In other words, there's slow travelers, okay, and there's home basers as expats. We wanted to be a home baser because what we do, we'll travel, come back. This is our home base. Travel, come back. Then there's your slow travelers where every 30 to 90 days, they're just moving on to another country, moving on to another country, moving on to another country. So it really depends on you, what you wish to do. And like I said, study all of it, man. You know, study Latin America, Panama, parts of Mexico, East, you know, the Far East. Look at that. Look at where we are in the Balkans, and it's a big world out there, guys. It really is. Also, excuse me, I ended up buying this place. What I was going to do, I really thought we were just going to rent. You know, just when I was thinking, rent in the city for a year, and then go to another city in Albania, rent there for a year, go to another city in Albania, rent there for a year, and that was really the plan. But April really wanted to have security, which you have to think about, guys. You got to. And I don't mean to be morbid, but what if she outlives me? You know, what if I pass away before her? Then she has a place that's paid off, and it gives her stability. So I thought that was important. So when we bought this place, it was 64,000 euros. And at the time, the dollar exchange was, we ended up paying 68,000 USD. If I bought it today, the dollar has dropped a little bit. It would cost me $72,000. Okay. Plus, we're doing some upgrades and stuff like that. But I wanted to have that stability for April. Also, when we first got to Toronto, let me tell you the cities that we visited. Okay, we were in Toronto for 7 months, but we visited Toronto, Durrës, Kruja, Fear, Elbasan, Skodra, Golem, Pokerdes, and Barat. Okay, and what I was looking for is long term. Also, okay, another thing you got to think about, because remember, we're older, we're baby boomers. My health is fine now, but as we age, things will happen. So I made sure to pick a place that's close to a hospital. And I've been to the hospital here. I like the hospital here. Okay, but that is another important thing you got to look at. Also, walkability. Where I'm located are there stores around, okay, besides the hospital. I'm a 1-2 minute walk to the beach. So location is critical, but not just in views of being pretty, but like I said, the hospital's close by. It's something I want you to think about, regardless if you're here in Albania or anywhere else. Okay, so what else we got here? I'm looking down because I got my notes here, so you got to forgive me. So the different countries we went to over this first year, it's remarkable. Italy, Spain, North Macedonia, Poland, and Albania. We really plan on just seeing 2 countries a year. But we've been traveling, man. We've got the travel bug in me. I still want to go to Budapest, Hungary. There's so many places we got to see. When I went to Poland, I was without my wife. My wife, if you don't know, she's stateside because her dad's real sick. Okay, so she's be back at the end of the month. And when I traveled without April, I actually feel guilty, especially if I'm going to a new place, because I want to go with her to show her. So I'm kind of like holding back. There's a lot more cities we want to see, a lot more cities in Albania. I guarantee you the list of cities I named off, there's a lot of people thinking, what about Saranda and Vlora? I'm going to tell you a personality flaw of mine. Okay, everyone told me you got to go to Saranda, you got to go to Vlora. You got to. My personality flaw, if everyone tells me I got to go left, I'm going right. That's just the way I am, but eventually I will see those 2 cities. I will show it to you. I will film it to you, okay? But everything so far is going right. The best thing I can tell you, regardless if you come here or anywhere else in the world, it's been a pretty easy experience for April and I. It really has been, because we both knew it's not America. Okay, it's not. It's different, okay? You got to respect their culture. And if you do, you're going to get the respect back. The people here have been beautiful, been very nice, but it's not America. An example, we would go into a restaurant, sit down, it takes forever just to get a menu. I would have to flag someone down to get that menu, but that's just the way it is. Same thing with leaving. I'm done eating. I got, hey, give me the check. And they'll, of course, come over and do it. But everything's not like in America, everything's flying. They want you in and out of that restaurant. Not like that here. A lot of the countries, it's not like that. So you got to be patient. You have to realize you're the foreigner. Okay, you are the foreigner. You are visiting their country, regardless of where you go. And you got to be polite. It's their country. Be polite. The other thing that we've done in this first year, I got my 5-year residency. So the second day I arrived here, I went and saw an immigration lawyer, okay, visa lawyer. The news was so good, I saw 3. So the thing is, online, there's so much bad information. I don't want to add to it and mislead anybody. But as soon as I don't care if you go to Panama, Cambodia, wherever you decide to go, I want you to see a visa immigration lawyer as soon as possible, okay? Sit down in that chair with you. They'll go for your business. They want your business. Once you're sitting in that chair in front of them, because then they know you're serious, okay? But please see a lawyer as soon as you get there, okay? Most lawyers, they're going to give you free information, okay, because they want your business. They want you to try to do that. I also saw an accountant. I wanted to get tax questions, stuff like that out of the way. So I'm not going to spew out stuff, because you shouldn't just listen to a YouTuber, okay? That's the best way I could say it. Visit a lawyer as soon as you get her. Go to an accountant as soon as you get her. Ask those questions face to face with a true expert, okay? Like I said, news is so good. I ended up seeing 3 lawyers, and I picked one. I went to an accountant, and I also spoke to one over the phone, okay? But things have been going really well for this year. I really feel blessed. And I want to tell you guys, one of the things you're going to face is you're going to have a lot of people telling you can't do it. It's bull. Okay? Yes, you can. Guys, I'm just a high school graduate that works for a trucking company. That's it. Nothing's bad. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm telling you can. Where April and I were blessed, we both made sure we had small pensions. That's what we're living on right now. April has put in for her Social Security. I have not yet. She doesn't get her first check until June. Okay? So we're going to have a little bit of added income as well. But you're going to have people that are going to tell you can't do it. Don't listen, okay? Misery loves company. It's easier to drag someone down than to lift yourself up. Okay? Please remember that. Also, guys, I want you to think about this too, because there's family and stuff like that. There comes a time that you have to put yourself first, okay? I'm heading into my golden years. Now's my time. Okay, now's April's time. People try to guilt you into, don't go and stuff like that. Don't listen. There comes a time when you put yourself first. Okay? So I want you to think about that. Think about that hard. Things here have been wonderful. Like I said, I got that playlist of things that I did leading up to me leaving the U.S. Please check that out. My subscribers, I love you, man. I'm so grateful that you guys are here and watching. But know this, high school graduate, I went in the Air Force, got out, got married, worked for a trucking company for 32 years. And then if I can do it, you can do it. I'm telling you, you can. I'm nothing special. That's for sure. But thank you so much for being here. 1 year, guys, our first year. I couldn't be happier, okay? So 1 year, things are going well. Also, I do realize that are there going to be times that I stumble, I fall, I make a mistake? Yeah. If I stayed in the U.S., it'd be the same thing. So be prepared. You're going to stumble. At first, when you come into another nation, you hear different language, not sure where to go. It's natural. Relax. You're going to be okay. Sometimes you might stumble and fall. You pick yourself up. But you can do it. Okay? I'm telling you, you can. Check out that playlist that I put up. You can find it in my on my page. But I thank you guys. 1 year in Albania. I love it. This is my home now. I love the people. I love the country. Okay? Love you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.